Hello budget people, and welcome back to another episode of Cash Confessions. Since I shared my confession, I have been sent the most heartfelt confessions I've ever heard. Cash Confessions is a safe space where we can discuss our worries and fears in regards to our finances. So guys, we are back for another confession. We are still covering the topic of financial infidelity, where people are sharing the confessions that they have found out from their spouses. I really do hope that you guys are finding these confessions helpful, useful, and maybe feeling that you are not as much alone as you think you are. There are so many people who are hiding secrets or revealing large amounts of debt that they haven't actually tackled. And the first step is literally realizing that there is a problem. So I do hope this week's confession helps you too. If you haven't done so already, please not forget to hit that subscribe button so you are kept up with all of our future episodes, and do not forget to download our extended version of Cash Confessions over on our podcast. All the links are below. But yeah guys, without further ado, let's get into this week's confession. And it goes: a month ago, I learned my friend gambled away all his wedding money. It came to a head on Friday as he finally confessed. Through it all and talking about it, I was getting weird vibes from my wife. She confessed that she had a $19,000 credit card bill. I took all her cards and started going through the accounts, and numbers kept going up. 19,000 bill was really a $40,000 plus bill. Another Bloomingdale's card was for $5,000. Another Chase card was for $17,000. It's been going up for over a year, and interest just keeps compounding. A few years ago, she took $5,000 out of my oldest son's bank account, and I called her out about it. We replenished the money, but now this. I have to liquidate investment accounts that I was planning to use for kids' college. I can pay this off, but it's really tight now. I'm most upset that she hid it, lied about it, then lied again. And then ultimately, only when she knew I had all her passwords, confessed to the full extent. I've already cancelled all her accounts. She's now only going to get cash. I really don't know what to do after that. She has no access to any bank accounts, and I told her if it happens again, we are getting a divorce. My biggest concern is that she'll take out another credit card without me knowing, and this will happen again. Has anyone else gone through this, and did their significant other get better? Or am I going to deal with this forever? How can I put a gag on her being able to get credit? Wow, this is another long one, guys, but we're gonna have to break it down because there's so much to cover. So I think this husband decided to give us a little bit of context as to how the actual confession came about. He said his best friend or his friend gambled away all of his wedding money. Yikes, that would have been horrible. And when he confessed, that is when, obviously talking to his wife, maybe she was giving him a bit of like a face or a keeping her mouth shut kind of attitude, but it obviously caused her to confess, which is a good thing, I suppose. But she only confessed to part of the actual debt she was in. So she only confessed to the one $19,000 credit card bill. She still had two more that obviously were hidden. And he says further down that until he actually got the passwords, then she actually revealed the truth. So would she have told him the truth had he not done a thorough investigation? Who knows? He then said that obviously the interest on these debts had been compounding. So because she hadn't been dealing with the situation, as we know, interest is not going to stop for no man. So that's managed to make the debt a lot higher than it would have been. And then the one thing that stood out to me, I don't know if it stood out to you guys, was the fact that a few years previous to this, she took out $5,000 out of her eldest son's bank account. So this was her children's savings that she dipped in. At this time, knowing that she had all this debt, asked her about it. He didn't go on to say whether she admitted that she did or not. But they do have some money. Luckily, he has some investment money. He has got an investment account that he can take this money from to pay off this debt. Although this investment money was due to go to the kids for their college education, So now he's paid off her debt. The kids aren't going to college, maybe, I don't know. Maybe he still has time to save up again. But he's saying money is really tight now. So this is having an effect on the whole family. The other thing I want to draw your attention to, guys, is the thing that he said here. He said, I'm most upset that she hid it, lied about it, then lied again. That's what I think is the most hardest thing when it comes to these debts. It could be 10,000, it could be 50,000, it could be $100,000 that you are actually in debt by. No one is going to be as mad about the debt as they will about the mistrust. It's very hard after confessing or even being found out. I think when you've been found out, it's a lot harder for people to trust you than they would do if you actually just came forward and told the truth. I can attest to that for myself. There was no way anyone would have found out that I was still in debt had it not been for the fact that I confessed. And my fear wasn't even being found out. My fear was just that I didn't feel good carrying on having not told the truth. Because she actually confessed and didn't reveal the whole truth, he is now worried about the lying. The lying is what is harder for most people when it comes to realizing the truth. That is the hardest part to get over, whether it's with financial infidelity or whether it is with infidelity altogether. So he goes on to say, I've already cancelled all her accounts and she now only gets cash. Cash is good. We attest to cash. We like cash here. But I really don't know what to do after that. She has no access to any bank accounts and I told her if it happens again, we are getting divorced. And it seems like he's gone down the same route as our previous episode's husband, because I think that they feel like by berating or threatening, should I say, it's going to make them do what you want them to do. And it's not always the case. I'm sure she's aware that divorce will probably be something that is on the table. She carries on. To use it as a threat to get her to do what she should do is never gonna work. It doesn't work with money, doesn't work with, you know, your weight, anything. No threats work when it comes to getting someone to do what you want them to do. My biggest concern is that she'll take out another credit card without me knowing, and this will happen again. The likelihood of her doing it again is if she feels that she can't talk to you, i.e. the threat that you've just made about getting a divorce. If she feels that that is going to happen, whether she slips up or not, then she probably won't be willing to even come to you before the idea. He does ask a question though. He says, has anyone else gone through this? Which is really good. Like, reach out, see if you can find anyone who's gone through something similar, definitely. But the final thing he says was, how can I put a gag on her being able to get credit? Yeah, that's not gonna work. That is not going to work, guys. He needs to find a way, a better way to handle this. By putting her in handcuffs and chaining her to the foot of the stairs, that is not going to stop her from using credit or even lying or hiding anything from you. If you feel that the only way you can stop someone from doing something that is going to damage your marriage, ultimately damage them, if the only way you think you can handle that situation is by putting a gag on them, then we need to start thinking about some other options. The more that I'm hearing these stories, the more that I'm realizing that there must be something else underlying going on in these relationships for you to be wanting to spend such large amounts of money, not only spending that amount of money but also concealing it from your husband or your spouse. There is something else going on, and I really do want to stress how important I think it might be to just have an open and honest conversation. Now, this is not going to work if only one person is being honest. If both of you are not on the same page and both of you want to make this work together, then it's really gonna be a hard slog. You can try to force them to do it, but inevitably you're probably going to see the end of your relationship. The other thing you could do is also seek help. You may want to go to a marriage counsellor, or you may want to bring an impartial person, maybe close family member, into the mix. but definitely try to get onto the same page and make sure that both of you are being honest and open about how you feel and the plan moving forward. The next thing I'd say is definitely set some clear boundaries. Not only boundaries on your part, but also boundaries for your wife. I think she needs to still feel that there's an element of trust. Yes, I know that trust has been broken, but she still needs to feel that if you are trying to get back onto the same page, that you are going to give her some element of trust still in the beginning stages. So those boundaries on your part could be that, right, I'm not going to keep checking on you so often, but I'm going to give you a set limit on spending, and I want to see, you know, that you stick within that limit, maybe evidence of what you spend. So give them a little bit of a carrot so that they have ownership over their money still, but at the same time they are still restricted in some way with their spending. The second thing that I will say is the same thing that I said last week. Set a budget. A lot of us seem to be setting budgets maybe individually, or maybe we are setting a joint budget, but it's only being respected and followed by one person. So we need to be setting a budget that is realistic, not just for one person, but for both people. Granted, you didn't know that she had a spending problem until now, but now you are aware. Make sure that budget is realistic for her, so it has your boundaries included as to what spending should look like, how both of you are going to be managing your money going forward. Make that budget as super tight as possible, but also make sure that it is one that both of you are doing together. And be transparent. I think the best thing that you can do is be transparent. You said yourself, the worst thing about the situation was that she lied. Then she found out, and then she lied again. It was the lies that really brought you to your knees. I think that now that you're aware of how much that makes you feel, you need to be transparent with her about how you're feeling. God forbid you end up going to want to do something else, or this pushes you somewhere else because you don't feel that you can be fully honest about how you feel in this situation. Be transparent. Get her to be as transparent as possible to you so that you both feel that you can grow and move forward from this situation. Fourth thing that I'd say is definitely seek professional help, not just within your marriage. I think the marriage counselling definitely needs to be done separately to this, but the financial side of things, maybe bring in a financial advisor, someone who can talk to your wife, talk to you, maybe help you with your budget, maybe help create a budget, maybe for her to see that, you know, money is tight. Had she known that she would have to be using her children's college money now to, you know, to repair the damage that she's made, would she have still done that? Sometimes it's better to just have everything on the table so people know exactly how damaging their actions can be. Therefore, if this happens again, you know full well what to do. And the last thing I want to say is about rebuilding trust. Your last comment about the fact that you wanted to find out how to put a gag on someone getting credit. It reminded me of when I had my own problem with gambling, and I had to put a block. I had to do that block for me not to be able to access any online gambling sites, and I think it lasts for about 5 years. It's a voluntary thing, and your name is literally blocked, your card details, everything about you is blocked from gambling sites. I'm sure there's a way around it. I'm sure there's a way around it. If I was to push that button, I'm sure I could find a way around it. But as I said, the person who put that gag on themselves was me. If she isn't looking to do that, if she isn't trying to find a way to stop herself from getting into more debt, getting into more issues, there is nothing you can do about it. A lot of this has to come from your wife. She has to be the one who is willing to change. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it's the truth. If she doesn't want to change, there is nothing you can do about it. Okay guys, so that is all for now. I do hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you are kept up to date with all of my future episodes. Do not forget to catch Cash confessions extended on Monday with myself and Ellie, where we'll be going into this confession a lot deeper. If you too have a cash confession that you would like to share, the link is in the description box below. It is totally anonymous, so you don't have to worry about everybody knowing that it's you. That is She's on a Budget, over and out.